so much for being here with me today. My name is Fran. I'm a registered nurse and a yoga therapist at Cornell Medical Center in New York City. And today we're going to do a yoga practice that's part of a series that we've been doing. We did some sun salutations as a separate module, and then we've done some lunges as a separate model. We've done some warrior poses also, so they can be used together. You can link them together, or you can use them separately, however you feel that you need to use them. So today we're going to get more into the body of the sun, of the actual vinyasa itself, and maybe by Friday we'll be able to link all of them together and have one nice long slow yoga class to incorporate all of the elements that we did this week. So come to close your eyes, and you can be seated. I'm seated on a block, the flat part of the block and the narrow part, and my sitting bones are on that. And we're just going to come to close the eyes and enter in this position of calm abiding. And just come to be aware of your own breath right now. Could be the first time all day, first time all week. Doesn't matter, just make friends with it and get to know it. How are you breathing now? And the breath is always a good sign. It's always a good detective. It tells us if we're agitated in life or in a yoga class as well. So if that's the case, just back off. In either of those instances, back off and come to breathe slowly. And that helps to change the nervous system from the dominant sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight, which gets us releasing all sorts of stress hormones and makes us feel like we have to run or fight or freeze sometimes. And we are now helping the nervous system to allow the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, to be dominant. So we have control. We can do that through our breath, through breathing exercises and meditation, and through doing yoga. We have control over how we respond to that. So I'm just going to read a very quick yoga sutra here. Actually, that's not a yoga sutra. This is by Ellen Bass. There's a part of every living thing that wants to become itself. The tadpole into the frog, the chrysalis into the butterfly, the damaged human being into a whole one. That is spirituality. Yoga encourages us to become ourselves. Okay, take a deep breath in and exhale. Come to open the eyes. And then we'll come to stand. So come to kneel first. If you were sitting on the floor, kneel. Bring one foot up in front. Bring the hands on that thigh. Curl your back toes under. You can see there, my back toes are curled under. And I'm going to lift the back knee up. And with the flat back, come up with the straight back. Okay? So the first thing that we're going to do are just some warm-ups. So we're going to come into our mountain pose. Where's my feet? Where's my legs? Pelvis is neutral, and the spine is lifting up. And I go over all of those things in really good detail in some of the other classes. But just so you know, the feet are grounded into the floor, under the ball of the big toe, the little toe, the middle of the heel. Engage your thighs, and then the pelvis is neutral, and I get into that quite a bit. And from there, the spine lifts up, and the chin is parallel with the floor. Inhale, take the palms out, and you're in your mountain pose right now. So you're grounding down, and then you're reaching up with the top of the head. So let's make that a little dynamic. Inhale up, and then exhale, bend the knees, and come forward. Bend the knees again, reach tail up. Exhale, bend the knees, and cross the hands in front of each other. Bend the knees again, and come up. And then change the crossing of the hands. And then just keep going like that now at your own pace, at your own breath. And then you can start coming down a little lower by bending the knees more, but keep the back flat. That's really important. And just maybe two more like this, and then we're going to stay down. And reach up, and then exhale down, and bring the hands to the floor, knees to the floor, and let's come to tabletop. So let's just make some circles with the hips going one way, warming up, and then going the other way. Okay, and then the hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and let's just do a few cat-cows. If you have really, if you have very a bad case of like osteoporosis, or if you're really rounding over, if you're very really kyphotic with the rounding of the shoulders and the head, then don't round the back too much. You can arch a little bit and then just come to neutral. So just find what's right for you. But generally speaking, anybody over 50 shouldn't really be rounding all that much or too excessively, I should say. And then come back to hold it. And then we're going to just get a nice stretch in before we start getting into the body of some of these poses. So my knees are going to stay perpendicular to the floor as I stretch one arm out and I stretch the other, and then bring the forehead to the floor. And you can open up the arms if that helps you. Actually, that's really nice. You can bring the head to the floor or to a pillow and keep the legs perpendicular to the floor. Deep breaths in. Feel those shoulders opening, getting a really good stretch. And it's a nice counter stretch to all the computer work that we're doing all day and phone work. Another nice deep breath in. And then exhale, peel yourself back up. You can come to bring the hips to the heels and just pause for a second. That really is a great stretch. Okay. Roll out the shoulders, up, back, down, and around. Up, back, down, and around. Keep going. And I'm already starting to feel like my body's getting warm. Take the arms out. And I like to take the shoulders back. We do enough forward stuff, so just let's keep it going back. Take the hands to the shoulders and rotate back. Don't scrunch the neck. And then interlace your fingers behind your back. Give yourself a nice stretch across the chest again. And my arms are lifting away without scrunching the neck. Inhale, exhale, and inhale. Shake it out. Okay. So we're going to do boat pose. And boat pose is a wonderful pose for strengthening. We're going to work on strengthening the psoas and the hip flexors. We're going to work on strengthening the hamstrings, and then we're going to stretch the hip flexors, and then we're going to stretch the hamstrings. So the first thing we're going to do is this boat pose. And this is we're going to do it in stages. You're going to find what's right for you, okay? So don't do what I might be doing if that doesn't feel right for you. There's so many variations to this. So come to sit on your bum, and your feet are just out in front of you, just like this. You can see that I'm in like this Z. And now I'm just going to straighten my back, and then I'm going to come up onto the tiptoes. And now you can see I tilted back a little bit. So once you tilt back, and I'm really on my tiptoes now, once you tilt back, just reestablish that lengthening in your spine. Because even just that little bit of a tilt can take you away from the lengthening of the spine. Okay, now my hands, both hands are behind each respective thigh. And then I'm going to look straight ahead. And as I inhale, I'm going to just bring up my right foot. And my right foot's just maybe about my chin level. I can see in the screen there. So, and the knee is bent. So maybe it's going to be a little bit lower because the knee is bent. So keep the integrity of the spine and engage the abdominal. Inhale and exhale, bring that leg in. Okay, so reestablish, get long, lean back, get long again, and now take up the left leg. So the knee is bent, so the toes will not be that high right now. Pulling in the belly, and this is the leg that's going to have the psoas working, the one that's lifted up right now. So we're strengthening the psoas, the iliacus, hip flexors, and the quadriceps. It's a wonderful pose. It works a multitude of muscle groups, including the abs. Inhale, exhale, come down. Now, just come forward a little bit, but don't round forward. There's a tendency. So let's take the hands behind us, bring the feet together, and just get a nice stretch, lifting up through the spine and broadening across the chest. Okay, come back. So we're going to come back to that beginning pose. Both hands are behind the back of the thighs. Come up onto the tiptoes. All right, we've got a nice long spine. Now we're going to lean back. Lengthen again. All right, coming back around. Inhale, take the right leg up. Knee is bent. Take the right arm alongside of it. Now you're going to start to feel that psoas working a little bit more than you did before. If this is good for you, stay put. If you want to just take your challenge up a little bit, bring both arms out, to keep the back straight. And you're looking down through your front toes. Inhale, exhale, come on down. Come up, lift up a little bit, shake it out, and then hands behind the thighs, toes, lengthen, come back, lengthen again. Now lift up the left leg, engage the abs, take the left arm out. I'm feeling this. If you want to increase the challenge, just bring the other leg up. But again, just be careful not to do this. So you want to bring the shoulder blades together on the back, retracting the shoulder blades together. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, and come down. And let's straighten the legs out this time. Bring the hands over to the side or behind you again, and just walk it out a little bit. Bend the knees, and you can just rock from side to side. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time. Now, just remember, anything that we've done before, if this is your first time doing this pose, then work with what's best for you. One leg up with both hands behind each knee, or one leg up, one hand out, both hands out, and vice versa. So we'll see. You'll just see. And then you work your way up to it. And some days it's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, and some days it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. So we're going to take it up a notch. We're going to bring up the right leg, and we're going to bring up the left. Find your balance. Fix your eyes on your toes or somewhere there within. Take one hand out. We'll start with that. Bring that hand down. Take the other hand down. Bring that arm down. Take one arm out. You could go back and forth, or you can bring both hands out, arms out, and if you want to, you can straighten the legs. Now I'm starting to tilt back a little bit, so I've got to let my ego get out of the way and just keep the knees bent. So I'm really feeling this in the top of the thighs and the abs, but mostly in the top of the thighs. So this is really strengthening the top of the thighs, the hip flexors. Inhale, exhale, one more time. Inhale and exhale. Hands behind, and then come down and bring the hands behind you and just rock it out a little bit. Any way you want to. Let's just windshield wiper. Okay, that pose builds up a lot of energy. All right, come to sit well again and just give a little tapping to that area. Okay, now we're going to come to, let's see, let's have you come to lie on your back. So we'll work on the hamstrings now. So we're going to work on strengthening the hamstrings. So we'll come down, so lie on the back. Okay. And the feet are hip distance apart. And your heels are just, they're, if you can get them close to the buttocks, that's fine. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just make sure that your knees are comfortable. You don't have to over flex the knees to get any benefit from this. So you can see where I am right here. Okay, so from here, we've done this pose before in other classes, but we're going to do it a little bit differently with the emphasis on strengthening the hamstrings. So the first thing I want you to do is just press your lower back into the floor, and then notice your tailbone goes up. And then let the back relax and let the lumbar spine come into its new natural curve. So let's do that again. Press the lower back in. Make sure the knees don't move in towards the midline. And then come back. So we're just sort of doing a pelvic tilt here, just going back and forth. Now, stay with the lower back pressed in to the floor and just lift up the tailbone or the sacrum is low, very, very low. So either the coccyx or the sacrum, just you're lifting off the buttocks just a little bit. And this is going to start to contract your hamstrings. Inhale and exhale, come down. So we're going to take this incrementally. The back will go into its natural position. And now inhale, press the lower back in. And on your next inhale, lift your lumbar spine up. So you're not coming up all the way, but you're just lifting the very low back where that curve comes in. Stay here for a few breaths. Inhale and exhale to come down with control. Back relaxes and you relax. Okay, flatten the back. That's the posterior pelvic tilt. Inhale, lift the sacrum, lift the lumbar, and now just lift the back of your ribs just a little bit. So you're coming up a little bit higher. This is called calf bridge. And we're going to stay here for a little bit longer. So you want to feel the stretch, the strengthen, the whole hamstrings in the back. They are strengthening because of the action of this pose. So breathe. Breathing is always a good thing. And you can even bring your arms, the elbows to the floor with the fingers pointed up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Come on down as one unit. Let the sacrum hit the floor first, and then relax. Bring the knees in, and just make some movements like this where you inhale as you bring the knees out, and exhale as you bring the knees in. Inhale out, exhale in, and one more time like that. And then come back down, and we're going to do that again. And I'll move this way. Okay, so my feet are established on the floor. My knees are on top of the ankles, and they are, knees and feet are hip distance apart. And now I'm going to press my lower back into the floor, and I'm going to inhale and just lift the buttocks ever so slightly off the floor. And this is you're strengthening your hamstrings here. Even if the other poses, the other increments are not, if they're hurting your back or anything, this is you really working. You can even put your hands back there, feel them working, and then come down. Pause for a second. Press the lower back in. Inhale. Come up now. Bring the sacrum up, just above the buttocks a little bit. Really, again, it's not a big movement. The knees are not going in. They're tracking over the second and third toes. Stay here. Inhale, exhale, come on down. You feel that burn back there. Take it out a little bit. Show the hamstrings a little love. Hands back. Press the lower back into the floor. Now we'll come up a little higher, the lumbar spine. It's like so tiny, the lift so far. So it's just a little bit higher. Press into the ball of the big toe and the inner heel also. That will help keep your legs on track. Sometimes the knee goes in, and sometimes they go out. There's a big muscle back here that likes to take the legs out. So by pressing into the ball of the big toe and the inner heel, that'll keep you in a lunge. That bigger muscle takes over and will externally rotate you. Inhale, exhale, come on down. Give it a rest. Okay. Now press the lower back in again. Inhale, lift the tailbone, the sacrum, the lumbar, and now come up to bring the thoracic spine in, and you can start to tuck one shoulder blade under the other, and that'll give you a sense of really broadening across the chest. The elbows come to the floor and the fingertips hold up to the ceiling. Your neck is relaxed. Visualize your hamstrings, these long, beautiful muscles. Strengthen. Just 3 of them. Feel them getting stronger every time you do this exercise. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Come down as one full unit. Let the sacrum hit the floor first, and then pause for a second. Just relax. Notice how that feels. And then bring the knees in. Oh, and that's a really nice sequence to practice. So you can do that a few times. So we've got some strengthening. You can straighten the legs just to release any tension. We strengthened the psoas. We did one exercise for that, and now we did the hamstrings for strengthening. So now let's just do one more thing for the hamstrings. So come to roll over, and then you'll make your way to tabletop, and then we'll make our way back down to the floor, lying on the belly. And then make a pillow with your hands for your head. The feet are long, the legs are stretched out long behind you. And then just bend the knees for a second, windshield wiper any tension, and then keep the feet up, and just make circles with your ankles going one way and then the other. Okay, bring the legs straight out, and then bring your hands alongside your chest. Your head, your forehead is pressed into the floor, the feet are together, and then press the pubic bones into the floor. And lift your right leg, just with everything, with your hands and your head on the floor. Lift the right leg and breathe. Just a few inches, you don't have to lift it high. Feel it, notice the lengthening aspect of it, but as well as the strengthening aspect in the back of the leg. Inhale, Come on down, bring it down, wiggle just a bit, and then prepare. Keep the hands where they are, the head where they are, lengthen out through the left leg, and then lift it, strengthening the hamstring. Inhale, and bring it down. Shake it out. Okay, so we're just going to layer on that. So this time, we're going to lift the head and the neck, the chin, and then you're going to lift the right leg off the floor. The hands just stay right alongside you. You can hover the hands. And if that's too much on your lower back, bring the hands back down. And you can always lower the head and chest down, or just bring the entire chest and torso back down. I find I do better with my back to be as low as possible and hovering my hands off the floor a millimeter. Really good for the strengthening aspect of the hamstrings. Inhale, come on down. Pause for a second. And the elbows are not splaying out, so they're just going back. Bring the feet together, again, lengthen out, and then lift the left leg, and this time just bring the chin up, the nose up, and the shoulders away from the floor. And I feel on this side, I really need to come down a little bit more. So even every body is different from every other body, but every side is different from your own. And I'm hovering my hands, and I'm visualizing my hamstrings getting nice and strong in a very coordinated and controlled type of way. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, and come on down. Rest your head and move however your body wants you to move right now. Okay. So now we're going to do some stretching for the hip flexors. And we did that, I think we did a lot of that yesterday, but this is, again, just in a different building block sequence. So come to kneel, and you'll bring your right foot in front of you. So this is called the proposal stretch. So Vanessa, will you marry me, please? Okay, so your hands come on your thighs, and then the first thing you're going to do is just press away to lengthen the spine. Okay? Now we're just going to let the pelvis come a little forward, and then you're going to feel this really nice long stretch here. Quad, hip flexors, and breathe. If you want to, you can bring your arms up overhead. Outer arms are going up, outer shoulders up, inner shoulders relaxed. Palms facing each other. Belly's engaged. So that's really important, and your lower back is not arched. That will disconnect you from the anterior aspect of the thigh. You want to be in a neutral spine, or even in a posterior pelvic tilt, which is more of a flat back, a flat lower back. And you'll feel it. If you're arching your back too much, you won't feel this. Inhale, exhale, bring the hands down, pause, come back, slide the pelvis back, and now bring the right knee down and switch it out. Left foot forward, left knee on top of the left ankle, and my right knee, and you can always double your mat if you need to have, I have a rug here too, so my knee is nice and cushioned. So first thing to do, hands go to the left thigh, and I lengthen first. Nice long line. Inhale, and then I exhale as I bring that pelvis forward, and I'm feeling that all in here. So it's a really beautiful stretch. So you always want to stretch after you've done some strengthening work. And recent research has shown that a longer stretch is really good for the connective tissue to help get into the matrix of the connective tissue and make a difference. There are some people who say 3 minutes and some people who say 10 minutes, but it's got to be a low level stretch. I would not call this a low level stretch. And if we have time, I'll show you a low level stretch for the hamstrings. But right now, we'll just work within the confines of what we're doing, and we'll see where we are. Now, if you want to bring the arms up overhead, go ahead. And then there's that, the palms are open, so there's a nice broadening across here, or this. If you were rounding, this is better for you. Or another variation. And you know what? If you're just starting out on a yoga practice and you're doing some of these things on your own, put your screen up. So I'm going to release the arms. Put your screen up so you can see yourself doing your poses, and you can maybe follow by instructions on your computer or your iPad, and then watch yourself on your computer. It's really been an interesting exercise for me to see myself on the computer. Okay. Just come into a child's pose. Open. This time, let's take the feet together. Open the knees up wide, and then spill out onto the floor. You can make 2 fists for your head if it doesn't come down, or a pillow, or whatever you have handy. It's a nice, long breath here. This is such a wonderful pose. It helps to relieve so much tension and anxiety. You can turn the head to one side or the other, or keep the forehead on the floor. And now, come on up, slide the hands back, bring the knees together, and let's come to lie on the back. Sorry, I should have mentioned this first. You need a belt, or a strap, or a man's tie, so something like that, or even well, this might not be, yeah, even like this would work too. It has a little bit of a give to it, but a dish towel is good. So I'll take a sip of water while you get your accoutrements, and then we'll do the stretch for the hamstrings. So I want you to just notice how I'm going to go down. I'm on my left hip. I'm sliding down onto my left arm, and then I'm going to pop over onto my back. So I'm going to start with both knees bent, and I don't want to lift up my neck unless I do it with my hands supporting my neck, because you don't want to create any back issues that you do not have. So why keep doing? You don't want to lift your neck up from this position, especially if you already have something going on. But for those of you who don't start the cascade. Take your strap or whatever it is you have, place your right ankle onto the left thigh, and without lifting your head, you can loop that strap around the foot. So I think we're going to do it with the strap against the ball of the foot as opposed to the arch. I find that I get a really different stretch in my calf when I put it across the ball of the foot. So you're holding onto the strap. Each tab of the strap is being held by one hand. The right side, the left side has its own strap that it's holding onto. And my shoulders are relaxed. So I'm going to come over here so you can see. I'm going to shimmy over here. All right, so if you don't have any back issues or lower back issues, you can start to straighten the left leg. If that doesn't sit well, keep it bent. Okay? So whatever feels right for you. Now, in addition to building bone density, this is just such a great hamstring stretch. So just a few things. You want to feel the stretch in the belly of the muscle, as opposed to the attachments here in the sitting bones and at the knee joint. So you want to feel it more here, this connective tissue. Right in here, you want to get into right in here, the belly. If you are feeling it here or at the end of the attachment, then back off a little bit, okay? So it needs to be felt in the belly because these attachments, those are areas those are tendons and ligaments that are more stabilizing features and structures, and they don't take well to that kind of stretching. So you want to get into the meat, the belly of the muscle. Shoulders are relaxed, and we've probably been holding it here for at least 45 seconds. I like to hold it for a minute, and when I have time, I'll show you what I do that can really get into it. So again, this is not a low load stretch. This would be legs are heavy, so this is you got to work to hold this leg up. Now we're going to take both tabs of the strap into the right hand, and you can see that I give myself, I wrap it around, and I'm going to inhale, and on the exhale, I'm just going to take it out just a little bit. My right elbow is being used as a kickstand, and I'm just opening it up here to get into the abdomen. Don't hold the breath. And if you have time, you can hold this side too. It's nice that there's 3 segments to each leg. So this part going out to the side, I hold it for a minute as well. Each one I hold for a minute. And then inhale, come up. And now we're going to switch the hand placement. The left hand is going to grab onto both tabs, and I wrap it around again. I open up my right arm, and I like to straighten my leg, and I only bring it out. So this is not a twist. It's a stretch. I'm not twisting. I'm just stretching over here, and I get to hold. I T-band. I feel the engagement over here, and I really get a nice stretch here. So I'm only bringing the right heel to be over my left heel. And you can still do that with the knee bend. So don't worry, you don't have to straighten the leg at all. It can be bent. And this is a nice stretch to spend some time because I keep it. And you're also opening up the shoulder, the right shoulder, the right shoulder. Okay, inhale, come back up. Now to switch out the foot placement, let's just keep it simple. Bring your left foot up to meet the right, and then take your right foot down. That way there's no like machinations to get the foot down and the head up and all that minutia. So easy peasy. I grab the tab, each tab comes to one hand to each tab respectively, and then I relax my shoulders. You can keep the arms straight, but you really have to make sure that you don't let the shoulders go with it. So for me, I have a tendency, I like to just keep the elbows on the floor, and that kind of guarantees that I'm going to relax my shoulders. Breathe into that hamstring muscle. And on this particular one, I didn't mention it on the other side, you don't want to press your lower back into the floor like we did with the other pose. You want to have your normal lumbar curve. So if you press into the lower back, you're going to lose the connection to the hamstring. So just let the lumbar, you don't have to do anything, just notice if you are pressing into the lower back and then release it. So just a slight little movement, not so slight, it's just something to keep in mind. Now, bring both tabs of the strap into the left hand. I'm going to take my right arm out, inhale, exhale, and I'm just going to bring it out to the side. And that is a really good stretch. And my upper body feels relaxed. So you want to notice if you're gripping in your face, is your breath ragged, are you clenching your jaw, and if so, then you back off. So you want to feel a certain degree of letting go here. And I know that we're working. This is not exactly passive. You're working your biceps, and the adductors on the side where you're holding them leg out to. But you want to also kind of feel that paradoxical certain degree of letting go. And letting you also relax, connect the tissues around the muscles. Relax. And now inhale, bring that up. Switch the hand placement. And now take the left arm out to the side, and the left heel only comes over the right. This is not a big movement on this side. Whoa. And the foot that's on the floor, if you are straightening the leg, it's flexed. So it's working. So it's not like that. It's not rolling out to the side. You're engaging the muscles on the foot. And now bring that leg up. And then just bend that knee. Take the strap out and just bring it to the side. Bring the legs down and just pause. You will feel such a rush of your own blood and life force energy. It's a great exercise. So there's 3 elements to that. They call this Supta Karajasthasana. So this leg up when you're lying down. So this takes all of the gravity out of the hamstrings. You can just take the gravity out of the spine by pressing the spine into the floor and lying on the back. Okay, so, wow. Roll over to your side, use your hands, slide up, and I'm just going to quickly show you. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to quickly show you what a low stretch would look like. So you would need a wall. So I've got this doorway, this hallway here. So my right leg's going to go up this wall. Oh, you can't see me. All right, I'm just going to have to do it this side. So my left leg's going to come up this wall. So I'm just going to come down. And I'm just going to saddle up to the wall. You can see, yeah. All right, and I'm just going to move out to the side. I'm going to bring my torso down. And then I'm going to roll onto my back as I bring that left leg up the wall. And then my right leg is straight. And you could stay here. Now, if your buttock, if your sitting bone doesn't touch the wall, that's okay. You're not going to force it to do that. You start here. And then you could even measure it and see, if you do this every day, if you're a runner or if you're sitting at your desk, start to measure what your distance is. But just start where you are, and then you keep that leg up the wall, and then the opposite leg is stretched out, and you just stay here with not even, just you're not pressing your lower back into the floor. You have a nice normal arch in the back. And then you can stay here with the arms out, and you can stay here for however many minutes you want. So I'm just going to come down, and that's what we mean when we say a low level stretch. The wall's doing all the work for you. You're not using your arms to hold up a heavy leg. Okay. And then, of course, you do the other side. So we're going to do, I don't know if we did this yesterday, but you're going to come to lie down on the floor. Get a chair a chair or an ottoman. I think we did do it. And then you're going to just swing over, bring your hips, your legs up on top of the ottoman or chair or couch, and then you're going to lie down, and you're going to spread your arms out to the side. You can't see me anymore. But I promise you I'm lying on the floor. And we'll stay here for a few minutes of silence. So close your eyes. Feel the effects of your yoga practice today on your body. Feel the imprint. This is where you get to integrate everything that you did and let the mind, body, and spirit. I want to put something over you because I can feel it's already starting to, my body's starting to cool down already. So that's what we do with it. We want to be cozy. If you need something for your head, put it underneath your head. You just don't want the chin to tilt it up. Just neutral, or even just a slight tap to start. So relax now in these next few moments. Now just bring your hands to your lower abdomen. Feel the belly rise with each inhale until it falls with each exhale. Let your hands provide the feedback from the breath, changing the shape of the abdomen and the belly. And let that be the focus of your meditation for the next minute. If you ever need just a quick fix and you feel very anxious, you can do this sitting with your hands on the belly. And if you have the opportunity, just lie down with your legs elevated like this and just feel the rise and fall of your breath. And now, to deep breath in and exhale super real slow. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Some circles with the ankles. And then bend the knees, bring the feet to the edge of your chair, couch, whatever it is. And then come to lie on whatever side is right for you. And just lie on that side. Think about one thing to grateful for today. And then use your hands to distribute your body weight. And come back to sit in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a moment or two. Bring your hands in prayer. And we'll do a call and response. May we have a peaceful mind, an easeful body, and a useful life. Namaste. Thanks for sharing your yoga practice with me today. Thank you.